Hello. Hello to everyone watching on the replay, just quickly, just before everyone gets in here and I set up. I do have plans to upload this to YouTube. Whenever that happens. Oh, I'm playing on playback. All right. There we go. Hey, y'all. Hello, hello, hello. Just gonna grab some paper. I want a pad that's almost finished. Hey, everyone. I am just going live. I know. How bizarre. But I'm just going live because no, Linda, it wasn't possible. I'm on my phone with my, what's it called, data, and I'm going to try and upload this video to YouTube afterwards, but we couldn't risk not having the replay of the video, and so even if I felt like I could have used the data from my phone to... So basically, first of all, hello everybody. I'm supposed to be doing a live stream in Virtual Voyage right now, but because we've had internet issues all day, and they're still spotty and it doesn't seem like it's actually fully restored, I'm not quite sure yet. I couldn't risk not having the replay available from our live stream, and I didn't want to compromise the quality by moving over to Steve's studio, and then even then the internet wasn't working over there all day, and so just no idea how it was going to work out, and I didn't want to risk it. I felt like by Sunday all the problems should be sorted out, and we did have an opportunity to move it where Steve and I would both be there, so I felt like I'll give it until 4 o'clock, and then if it's a certain thing then we can do it, and if it's not, I won't risk it. But it was really unfortunate and I felt very, very sorry, so thank you to everyone for your understanding. I hope you're available on Sunday. If not, we will make sure we get that replay up as soon as possible. But I do also have a Friday YouTube video that I do every week, and that I couldn't put up today either. So I figured if I film it on this, I have done this in the past where I've used my phone and I've just kind of uploaded it straight from my phone. So I'm going to put this on YouTube afterwards, and then hopefully this can be my Friday YouTube video for this week. So thank you so much. It is what it is. Stuff happens. I know, but you know what I'm like? I mean, I've never actually had to cancel one of these things before or reschedule. So it was just giving me all the classic stressors that, you know, you feel when that happens. But I'm going to continue on with my little Tim Burton-esque characters. And I think, I mean, I don't know. Wizard of Oz, I feel like I have to do. And I want to use my stamp set again as well. So I'm going to choose one of the stamp sets from the Worlds. One of these. And I'm going to try and hopefully get that Etsy stuff tonight as well, because I do have to close the store. So hopefully that works out and I can put it in the mail tomorrow. I'm wondering if I should do her... Maybe I should do... I think I'm going to do the Fashionista Dorothy. So technically we're still live, but it's just not for my course, which stresses me out a little bit, but we can do our best, and that's all we can do. And I'm not gonna harp on about it any longer, so I don't frustrate everyone that is here right now or watching on the replay. All right, very lightly stamp off some of that ink, and then oh, dropped it. Pop her here. So this is supposed to be if Tim Burton had done concept art for The Wizard of Oz. Yes, I'll be closing my Etsy store once I get the next batch of orders out. So this is still open, and these stamps are still available, but I will be closing it as soon as I print out all those shipping orders. So probably, hopefully later tonight if I can. All right, Dorothy. Where is my Dorothy? Yeah. I mean, as if I need the reference, but just in case you want to have a look. Oh, yes. Linda, you can look at it that way. 2 for 1, today and Sunday. I'm going to start with the dress because I want to do something a little bit more outrageous for the dress. I kind of like that Glinda thing we were talking about before where it had that trapezium shape. I think it's a trapezium. I have no idea. But I still want it just below the knee. And then instead of gingham, I think Tim Burton would be very inclined to do perhaps that wild checkerboard pattern. I'll leave it for now. I do want to kind of trace it up the hips though. I always like it to have this bustle, not bustle, but like shooting out from the hip rather than the waist. And then she has the pinafore, which I want to keep it kind of classic. The concept art is supposed to be what inspires the end result. So kind of reverse engineering it back from there, you kind of want to keep a lot of those elements. Unless you've just got some really crazy ideas, but I like to make it seem like it kind of fits with the final look. I might do something a little bit more intense with the collar. She does have this teeny tiny little triangle trim on the collar. So I'm going to do a really high collar. And maybe do some bigger triangles. Puff sleeve. I love a good puffy sleeve. Kind of want to make them a little bit more droopy. A little bit heavier. Just to change the shape a little bit. I've got my royalty-free music on, can hear it. I think this Zoom playlist I made from my music subscription from Epidemic Sound, but I believe this one I did for my, what was it called? Those concept stamp workshops, which is kind of exactly what we're doing now. All right, I'm gonna put a button here. I can't really see the other one. I do want to put perhaps a line of buttons right down the middle. I always like a line of buttons and some seam lines. I'm going to put stripes here, like she has little pin tucks behind the pinafore. And then, if you could see her hands, I'd probably put some frilly little gloves on, but I don't think I'm going to worry about that. I'm going to Tim Burton this face just a little bit. I'm going to keep the proportion, so I'll draw it exactly over what's already on here. But I'm just going to draw lashes with her eyes closed. She's not going to have those Tim Burton small pupil eyes. They just look a little intense sometimes, and I want her to look a little bit more glamorous. Hi everyone, welcome to the live. I'm going to plan on putting this up on YouTube later, so I'll be on my best behavior, but please ask all the questions you'd like in the chat. Oh, I'm kind of seeing like a head wrap of some sort. Not so much a turban, but I kind of like the idea of having this small not thatched, what do you call it? Woven kind of country farmer's hat with a really straight, wide brim. It's just giving lots of fashion for me. And perhaps a ribbon. I think I'm going to lean into her farm girl aesthetic. is going to be a more of a fashion version than a Tim Burton version. I'll put the patterns on and it'll look more Tim Burton, I'm sure. We can give her the Wicked Witch of the East's stockings, the striped legs. But I do want to make more of a feature of the red ruby slippers. So I'm going to put these massive bows on. And she can have some scribbly tights. So she stole her shoes, but she also stole her stockings. Okay. I feel like she had a little petticoat that kind of stuck out as well. And maybe the petticoat could have a little jagged hem. Just so it wasn't too neat. And then she needs that gingham, but we're going to do the Tim Burton version, so a really wild, warped checkerboard. We've done Glinda and we've done the Wicked Witch of the West as well, so I think I've got all my ladies covered. I'm just going to scribble in the checkerboard. I feel like I could do the gingham inside each other square, but that might take too long, and I'm just here to scribble today. I went and saw that Barbie movie, and apparently they use pink gingham as a bit of a reference to not just The Wizard of Oz, but I think it was apparently like the time period as well. Like gingham became a very popular print around that time period. And often people associated it with like the domestic housewife. I could be butchering all of that fun fact, but I'm sure I saw it on a TikTok somewhere, and hope you run across the TikTok if you really want to know what it was supposed to mean. I might just use a few to put the gingham in. And then some others, I think I'm going to put some stitching on, like it's patchwork. The Wizard of Oz is my all-time favorite movie. Like if I had to pick one, obviously I have a lot of favorite movies, but I've just always loved it. My gran made me ruby slippers when I was younger, and I still currently have a set of ruby slippers that Will in the chat actually gifted me at one of our meetups, and I wear them in Steve's photo studio when we're doing photo shoots, and I need to step on the paper backdrops and not get them dirty. They're like a slipper, and it's so funny because like rarely would I ever find any that fit, but I did have a slipper pair of sequined red ruby slippers that I got years ago as well. The ones that Will got are actually a little bit nicer than those ones. The other ones were just, maybe my gran made those ones. I don't think she did though. My gran did make me I'm going to put dots, like flocked dots on the sleeves. My gran made me a Dorothy dress that I used to wear all the time when I was a little boy, and I would go to sleep in it. Alright, I think I'm happy with her. I feel like I could give her a little bit of colour. I've got a water brush here. Because I need the ruby slippers. Come on. To anyone joining, I haven't figured out all of my internet issues today. I am on my phone and I'm going to try and upload this to YouTube later. So we're still doing our live stream on Sunday for Virtual Voyage. This is just an extra little, hopefully something I can put out for YouTube today. Gonna get this blue, this light blue. I'm just going to wash it over the dress. I think red and light blue is all you need to show Dorothy. I always like when characters have a really distinct colour palette. I kind of want the hat to be a little... No, I want her scarf, her headscarf to be a little blue. I think everything else I want it to be brown. Like her pinafore. Get some of that sepia in there. And the hat. I love light blue and brown together. I think it's such a pretty combination. And I always remember that it was someone using connector pens and they had done their heading in school. Like, I think we were in high school. And I used to just always get my pens out and my connector pens and do cute little headings and borders and things in my school books. And someone had done a light blue and a brown combination, and I'd never seen that combo before, and I just thought, wow, loving that. And now I always think of it. And then one of the senior dancers, actually I don't know if that was light blue and brown. I think it was, but it wasn't the same. One of the senior dancers' costumes was that colour palette, and I've always loved that too. I'm going to put this underneath as well. This is getting very farmy, but that was kind of our goal. Maybe Tim Burton's Wizard of Oz is a lot more hometown rural. You're about to sketch flicks the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland. I never saw it. I've seen that a long time ago. I don't even really remember. All right. I think she's great. I live for her. Great. Next. I'm going to get another stamp. What other character do I want to do? I think I'm going to use this stamp because I don't think I've used this one yet. You have a set of postage stamps you think I'd love, but I don't know if to send them inside an envelope, unused, or outside where they would get cancelled. Just pop one on a postcard, and then I can have the best of both worlds. I have a bit of an ephemera and a cute stamp. I have had someone send me a whole set of stamps before. It was a Disney Villains collection. I still have them on the side of my fridge. I have used a few, actually, in desperate times, but I made sure I didn't use them up in a way where I didn't have like one of everything. Okay, so who's my next character? Or maybe we should do Sateen because I haven't done her yet. Should we do Showgirl Sateen? Or... ooh, diamonds are a girl's best friend Sateen. She's pink. I think we'll do Showgirl Sateen because we can do the little top hat. I should probably have used the other stamp for this one. Maybe I will. I've always got to trust my gut when I say things like that. I say it and then I think, no, I'll just go and be lazy and do what I was just doing. But I want to use this one because it's got the body up until the hips. And I will want to use that. Stamp off the extra. Great. So I stamp it off on a piece of paper and then I stamp it onto here just so I can get a really, really faint outline. You're not really even supposed to see it. Linda, I've been thinking about the Miss Piggy, but honestly, I'm so nervous to do it because I don't even like Miss Piggy drawn out most times. I only like her character. I only like her to be in the Muppet form. Like, a drawing of Miss Piggy always just looks off, and I just know to do that and Tim Burton, like, it's going to look probably crazy. But I think we should tackle it just to do it. We have to do it. Right, I'm going to mark this out in red first, and then I think I'll go over it with, a brush marker. Nice, big, glamorous. Looking at the corner of her eye, side eye, very unbothered. Lots of lenches. She's a showgirl. I'm going to keep the lips nice and full. Just color them in red. And then that eyebrow, super intense arch. So she has that little hat, which we just want to make a little wonky. Is that it? How would I do this? I'm a little confused about how I would do this. Hats really trip me up. No, we'll figure something out. It doesn't have to look like a real hat. I think she has a ponytail in this, or her hair is swept up somehow. It's supposed to be concept art, so we can do whatever we want with it. I'm going to pinch that neck in, like Tim Burton would. Not as severe, but just a little bit. And then she has, almost looks like a collar, but it's on the top of the bust. So I'll make that a lot pointier. And then a dazzling corset. I'll put a bit of a bustle on the corset. Opera length gloves all the way up to the bicep. Oh, you think your stamps are arriving tomorrow? I hope so. I'm going to try and get the rest of those Etsy orders out as soon as I can get that internet connected to that computer. And there's a strap. Okay, I think that's good for a base. I need to know what I want to do with her hair. Maybe... Oh, good, you got your order. Yes, I will be trying to close up the shop. Fingers crossed. Cat snoring over there. I feel like I want her hair coming out of the top of the hat, but I feel like also I don't want that. I don't know why, but I like the idea of this hat folding over the back. I can kind of see it trying to work. I really do want a flocked net tulle coming out of her hat too. I don't know how I want it to cover though, like maybe just the front, just that way. I think so. Oh, a feather, yes, definitely a feather. And then hair. Maybe I'll just have it just down beside her here. A nice long curled ponytail. Very showgirl. Alright. A choker? I can definitely put a choker on. And now I'm going to go with the black Pentel pigment brush pen. Give it a very loose line work. Going for that Tim Burton vibe, so everything has to be a little bit wonky, but also some nice dry brush effect. And then really using that pressure to get a nice variation in line width. And then we'll probably go back in with a black pen and do all of the details, patterning and such. This is a very high contrast effect because I put the shadows in with this marker as well, with this brush pen. And with the black shadows, it's just super high contrast. I'm going to leave the lips alone though, I'll just do the middle part of the lips. And a few lines on the eyes, I'll come back with a pen around the eyes, just so I can keep it all neat where I want it. And because this is supposed to be a really light net, I'm going to break up that line so you don't even really see everything connected. It keeps it really light. There we go. Put that color on in black. Well, it's not really a collar. It is, but it's on the top of the bust. Snatch that corset in. And then she has some fabric draped over the back. Black glove. And straps. And hair. right, I think that's good. Now I can get my pen. I'm loving the look of her. Sateen. Goodness, I don't know what's going on with me right now. I'm losing my mind. You're not that into mermaids, so you make a giant collage of all the James Mermaid ephemera and use the lettering that says, I'm not that into mermaids. That's perfect. This is the absolute most correct way to go about that. Oh, your order came today. Amazing. Crack them out. We're playing. I could try one with the Little Mermaids, because I do have the Little Mermaid on here. It'd be the tiniest little drawing I've ever done, but I feel like we could do it. You don't need to have FOMO for the mermaid corner pieces. I love mermaids, so I can't get enough, but you will be fine without them. They are much more detailed than the original corner pieces ones, though. I stamped them out side by side the other day and was like, wow. Alright, so now I need to do the flocked netting. And again, I'm going to keep it pretty open and really light, quick flicks. I'm going to try and avoid a lot of the face. And then where some of these diamonds meet, I'm just going to dot. You'd love a fairy corner stamps next. I do love the fairies. And I have all those ones from that time that I did it for Collage Club, where I did all the alphabet. I did a mixture of mermaids and fairies on that, so I feel like they're all half done. Just putting on some patterns. She needs her fishnets, because she's a showgirl. And she's going to have flocked, dotted fishnets as well. I love those fishnets with the crystals on them. Put her little choker on. Right, now we need to give her a bit more of a Tim Burton edge. So I reckon I'm going to grab the grey just to really punch out those eyes. Give her a bit of a halo eye at the top, so leave that middle part open. That looks extra alluring. And I don't think I'm going to use a red pen. I think I'm just going to use my pencil, but make the lips a lot sharper with the pencil. Your order was supposed to be delivered, but now it's the 5th order that your local post office missed. Oh no. Don't you hate that? I've been tracking an order for the past few days that keeps saying it's supposed to arrive, but it doesn't. Lovely. Lovely links. She needs a bit of rouge too, because it's the Moulin Rouge. And I think I'm going to use grey for some of the patterning, because any more black and it's going to be very distracting. And I've got all the details on that I would want, so I'm just going to use that Tombow marker in N75. Bit of shadow under there. Bit of shadow on there. I think grey, black, and red is just such a fantastic little colour story. The red pops everything out. A light, cool grey. It's got to be like an orangey red and then a light cool grey and a really rich intense black. That'd be my fave if I was going to give a little smudgy for what you should get. I just like cool greys better than warm greys. Shadows tend to be cool toned, so I think it just works a little bit better. But sometimes when I'm working on different types of paper, like if it's a really warm paper, sometimes I feel like it looks a little off. Why is this the only lip style I can do now? Honestly, it is for me too. I keep changing everything to this lip. I just love this lip. Although there is a slight variation that I'll do to it, and it's only to make it look a little bit more unbothered. But typically, like, that's enough, right? The kind of love heart on the side. Sometimes I'll make this. This is good. But down here, I'll push up into the bottom. So I put that little bump in the bottom. And then I do the same for the inner mouth line. Just to make it a little bit more like, ugh, she's so over it. Oh yeah, the little pops of red. You know, I was doing something in color for a sample, and then I completely scrapped it because I didn't want it in my deco journal. Even though I'm not keeping mine completely black and white, there's just some things that I was like, that's too much color for this, or it's the wrong color palette. Like, it suddenly has a vibe now that I don't want to change. I'll show you. I was working on these earlier. This is the Farrah Fawcett, and I was doing the Charlie's Angels, but I was doing like the, you know, the biblical angels that have all the eyes. So I put all of the eyes all over her hair, which I thought was really fun. And then one of those quick questions, you know, the questions at the end of the day, which Tim Burton overlay would you do for a Disneyland attraction? And I had thought this, but I didn't want to put anything out there to take away from anyone who would come up with the ideas as well. So I was just waiting to see if someone would say it, but someone said the big eyes overlay for It's a Small World. And that was the one that I had thought of, and I loved it. So I was so glad someone said it. And then I did this little version of him, the Margaret Keane big eyes for It's a Small World. I worked on that earlier. And then let me grab my other samples. This is the one we did on Livestream the other day. This is Glinda, believe it or not. I'll get the Wicked Witch for you. She's huge. That's the Wicked Witch, Tim Burton-esque concept art. I tried to make the tornado effect in the dress, but I think I put too many lines for that. Still, I enjoyed that. And then this was our Wednesday. Loved her. What else did we do that day that I did Glinda? I know we did Legally Blonde. Oh, and Eliza Doolittle. So I'll grab my Legally Blonde for you. Her name is Elle Wouldn't. There she is. And the same stamp I just used for Sateen, the Moulin Rouge, is the one I used for this Elle Wouldn't. And then right at the back, I've put in Eliza Don't Little. I love her outfit. I swear we did another one. Don't know. I don't know which other one I did. I do like the addition of the questions as well. Just a nice way to prompt some extra creativity. Especially, I mean, I've been going on this kick for the whole workshop, doing all these extra characters. I'm going to try and do one up here, and then I think I will leave. I think I'll leave that for today. How long have I been on here for? Have I been on here for ages? Can't ask you guys. You're biased. You will tell me I've been on here for 2 minutes and that I have to stay on here for 6 more hours. And I will stay on for as long as I feel like is necessary. But I'm now curious to see if I can get this uploaded to YouTube. All right. We've still got live action Ariel. Oh, we said we were going to do a little one. All right, we'll do the little one 40 minutes? Oh, that's great. I was trying to round it out to an hour. So I think if we do one more on this and then a really little Ariel, I think we'll be good. I just have to choose which one I want to do. I really like this Ariel because she's sitting up. I love this one that's bent over. Just got to wonder which would give me the most Tim Burton opportunity. Sitting up or bending over, whichever one you want. The ribbon is to die for, I agree. I love the ribbon. I need to get me some ribbon like that. Just for Halloween. Maybe that's all I'll do for Halloween. I don't decorate the house for Halloween, but maybe I will do. Just put black and white ribbons everywhere. Sitting. All right, sitting was the first response I got. So we will do sitting. I'm going to have to zoom you right in. I don't know if my camera can handle it. It'll be right up in my fingers. Now, this might be a little bit tricky because... yes, we have until 9. You're not wrong. This might be a little tricky with this distress ink because it doesn't stamp very, very fine details. I'm just going to put it on in the grey. Oh, that's fine. I can see that. And I'm going to have to get the tiniest pen that I've got. Kath and Kim, Burton style. I would die. All right, let's get you zoomed right in. This is how small we're going. This is, I'm pretty sure, one of my eyelashes. So we are going teeny, teeny, tiny. This is a 0.03. And I've got my little Ariel reference here, but I'm pretty sure we're all familiar with Ariel, so we don't need her. I'm practically just dotting out her face. Massive lashes. So I'm going to have to make her limbs a little bit more gangly. Maybe she can be part Jack Skellington. And then for her tail, I think that's where we're going to get the most opportunity to put our patterns. Stripes are a classic. I'm not going to go all the way across. Oh, you can barely see. Sorry, I'll try and move my big fat hands. I'm going to not go all the way across because I want to leave that highlight through the center of the tail. Now, Tim Burton actually has, he has drawn mermaids before, and they have this curly, swirly tail, but they have all these other lines as well. So we'll do a version of that. They kind of look like brooms to me, or like handlebar mustaches. She also needs a little bat wing, because she does. Little spookies. And I want to give her really fun, scribbly, full, wrapped up in wild hair. Lots of little tendrils flying off everywhere, but really close to the nape of the neck, and it doesn't really start to go wild until you leave the top of the head. I don't like to put too much at the back here. And then instead of lining the tail, I'm just going to add these tiny little dashes all the way down, just on the edge. Make it look a little bit more textured rather than smooth. This is such teeny tiny work. Can't take my eyes for granted while I have them, so. There we go. I feel like she could have more like spiky bra thing. And some kind of fishbone or something. She needs something. Give her bangles. I love bangles. I haven't drawn bangles in ages. She could be sitting on a fishbone. She's riding a dead fishbone. Tiny teeth. It is a little bit sandwormy, isn't it? Best part about Tim Burton style is being able to scribble so many things that you just don't know how to draw. It's always my favorite. A swordfish. Totally. I'm going to put a little extra striped sword nose. That's very clever. Thank you for that suggestion. That's why I love doing a live stream. You get all the best sudgies. Oh, my mum said Bewitched yesterday, didn't she? Not yesterday, when we were on Wednesday. I think my mum was like, or I'm sure it was my mum. If not, it was someone else who was reminding me of my mum to do Bewitched. There we go. How cute. Right, this is The Little Mermaid, if Tim Burton had done some concept art for it. And he only had 1 inch square to work in. So tiny. Do I need anything else? I mean, I think that's fine. I think if I put too much else on, it's going to get confusing, but I really do love that. I think she looks great. Oh, it's totally her. What's her name? Samantha? Bewitched. Is it Samantha? On the broomstick? All right, now we're going to do this one up here. I'm going to move into the light. Let there be light. Oh, it's a little stripy light. I'm going to go over this way. There we go. Last character. We did say we were going to try and do Miss Piggy. I'm going to give it a go. I'm not going to use this. Where's my pig reference? Miss Piggy is my spirit animal. For those who are unaware, there she is. Benjamina. I forgot her last name. Miss Piggy with the big eyes. I think it's, I want to say Benjamina Buttonhole, but that's not. I had a roommate years ago, one of my favorite roommates I've ever had on a cruise ship. His name was Ben, and that was my name for him. was Benjamin Buttonhole, so I don't think that was hers. Full rodent picture. All right, let's start with a sketch of her face, because I'm not going to be able to move on if I don't know how to do this Piggy face. And I need my reference. Is this my animal reference? Here they are. Here are my animal references from Virtual Voyage 2. Let's zoom out even more. Sorry for the light. It's just going to be a little bit annoying. I'm going to go straight into this light over here. Sorry, it's stripy. It's that time of afternoon where everything is a little bit difficult to work in. I don't have a pig reference on here, do I? Do I have my sheet? I bet I don't have my worksheet. I don't. It's the thing, sometimes I make PDFs, but I don't actually print them out myself, and then I need that information, I don't have it. It's okay. We'll just go with the shapes. Her face is kind of diamond shaped. It's a little heavier in the cheek. And then she has a big square nose here with nostrils. She's got a mouth underneath here, and then she's got her two eyes sit right here. So I mean, this is Muppet Pig. Maybe a baby Miss Piggy, yeah. I don't know if we're gonna get cute out of this, Linda. I think you knew what you were asking for when you asked for Miss Piggy. Now, pig ears, this is where I'm gonna struggle. I'm pretty sure the ears go out up the top here somewhere. Are they curved, or are they... Hers do have that little curve to them, but what are real pig ears? Like, that's a mouse. I need my eraser. They're not triangular. I think they're more like diamond shaped as well. I might just do... Well, true, the headdress is going to kind of cover it. And she's got those big old curly curls. I think this one, I think she does have that kind of flop to it. Or flip-flop. So we'll do that. Alright. If I get the base on, maybe I can just work straight over the top. But now she's so far up here, I need her to move down. Because I need all that headdress. Alright, I'm going to draw her right in the middle here. I'll just copy what I've already done. Surely it can't be hard. If I can do it once, I can do it twice. Okay, let's start there. And then she's going to have... Her hair is kind of funny, like really curly up here, but then lots of tendrils down here. I'm going to give her body. Body oddy oddy. She's got a bit of a barrel chest. She's got that wrap dress on. She's giving DVF. Diane von Furstenberg. Hi, everyone. I'm going to try and upload this to YouTube. So if you're just joining us now, don't worry. You'll be able to go back and watch that as soon as I get it up. And she's a showgirl, so we're going to give her little ham hocks a nice bevel. And I feel like she can... I don't know what pigs have. Pig's feet. What do pig's feet look like? I feel like they look like this. Do they have that little notch in them? They do now. Sorry. Sorry if they don't. Pig lovers. All right, the jig is up. I'm just drawing myself. Could you imagine? I pull this over. There's a reference photo of me in this exact pose. Cloven hooves. I do know that they're hooves, right? But I don't know what they actually look like. I think she's got real feet. Doesn't matter. She's got big feathers on them, so we're going to cover those up too. We've got one feather coming up here. We've kind of got a spray of feathers, really. I mean, she's full showgirl. But it's Tim Burton, right? So I feel like if they're going up like this is giving me a little bit of spider web. So I feel like we should use that to our advantage. It's going to look very Elvira, I'm sure. Let's loop them together like spider webs. Maybe we can put some pearls on there or something. I literally do that pose all the time, Victory. I was doing it the other day at my audition. This is exactly what I looked like at the audition. This is exactly what I was channeling. I like those kind of feathers as well that she's got, where they pluck all the stem, but there's just that poof at the end. Maybe they can be little creatures or something, little spiders. All right, she's got her hair. And I've got to put her arms out because she's got a big feather boa on. So we want to be able to see that as well, draped over the back. Drape it to the floor, drape it behind her hips, and then drape it down there. And it should be very, like, I don't know what the word is. It's like droopy, not droopy. I don't know, stringy? Lots of things just hanging, drapey and droopy and stringy. All those words work. I think her dress is a little bit of a wrap mini, which is cute. We'll give her fishnets or something. Gooey, I like that description, Linda. Okay, I think we're ready. I think we're ready to go into pen. Should I use... maybe I should just use this. Should we just be bold? I'm going to need to use this for the big feathers, though. I could play with giving her the most enormous eyes. Glamour eyes, or because the round eyes are very Piggy and very Muppety. So we could do a hybrid. Oh, I can already see it. Lots of underlash as well. But then lots of lash on top because she's a showgirl. I think I've got it. I wonder if I want the nose to just come right on top of that eye like that. Can you see it? I'm seeing it. The only thing I don't know now is, do I want the mouth? Because the mouth with the little teeth is going to send it over the edge. Like, we're not going to be able to come back from that. Bernadette's putting it in the chat. Small pointy teeth that Steve loves so much. The mouth only comes out a little bit down here in this triangular shape. And we can put it up into the cheeks here, but I feel like that gets a little crazy. And I don't know. I think we'll leave the mouth out of this one. Because even if I put like an actual lips down here, it's going to look weird. Don't you think? I think that looks weird. So I'm going to take that away, and I think what I'll do is I'll put a big statement necklace on or something, big pearls, or eyeball necklace. I have a feeling it's going to look quite tribal by the end of it. All right, let's get into it. We just got to go for it. Just go for it. Got that Muppet half lid. Big old Piggy nose. I'm going to give her a lovely perm. And we'll go back in for another layering of pen afterwards, I'm sure. But those big old lashes, tarantula lash, and lower lashes as well. There we go. Yeah, Pig. Has anyone seen that little boy? I don't know what his name is on TikTok, but he's like this little southern boy that has a very strong southern accent, and he is so funny. I've never heard such a young kid with such a strong accent. And he says that to his sister because she's eating all the fries. His sister's name is Emmeline. I think his name is Jack. And she said, he's like, "You pig." So Steve and I will always say that to each other now. Body oddy oddy. Piggy. Diva. T-strap. Tiny heel. That's so funny. Can't help myself. One arm. Two arm. I'm going to use the brush pen for these big old details. Do all of the spiderweb tendrils first. Little sticks. As tempting as it is to start with the headpiece, you kind of want to do it last because all this other stuff you have to contend with. So if you've drawn anything down here, like the layering's going to be off, you'll end up drawing it in front of the body and it looks a little bit weird. Get these ones on. These ones can be a little bit wilder. And I'm just going to draw these outlines on first, and I'm sure I'll come back and make them creatures in a minute. Oh, stripes in different directions on her dress is a great suggestion. Thank you, Victory. We will be definitely doing that. I've got the spider web little cross sections on. I don't know what you call those things. You know how much you don't know when you start trying to tell people what you're doing? Like, you just don't have language for half the things you do. It's fascinating. I'm going to put the stripes on in this brush pen so I can get a nice dry brush effect. Alright, I'm going to do that with this as well. Goes over the wrist, behind the back. Then all those little dangly things, I'm going to use the point of my brush to add those on. I think extra eyeballs everywhere is what's going to bring this all together, and perhaps will work because we've got that spiderweb theme, so the 8-eye arachnid motif might lend itself lovely. I do like to just kind of brush a little bit extra texture onto the boa, so it looks like it's still kind of fluffy with something. And then I wonder, she's got another like feather kind of right above the middle of her head. I might just add a A little spray of feather right here. Like a feather duster right at the top of her head to clean up all the cobwebs. She's simultaneously a maid and a spiderweb showgirl. She's got a lot of depth to her character. Yes, we have to do the fishnets. Put those curves in there so we can really accentuate the fullness of her ham hocks. Oh, spiderweb fishnets, good. Sudgy. Skulls would be fitting the character. Yes, skulls actually. Maybe skulls can be in these things up here. For the spiderweb fishnets, I'm going to put a quick little bunch of spiders on the fishnets. And those dangly things on her boa can also be spiders on spiderwebs. I'm not going to draw them too realistically because I actually hate spiders, but... She's a tasty morsel. I love that description. She's definitely a tasty morsel. Get into this perm. These Pilot G2 pens do not quit. I also like that her perm is a little 80s, because Miss Piggy, to me, no matter how modern she gets, will always be a bit of an 80s icon. Okay, so these are going to be skulls, so I'm going to have to put a few little teeth on there. And 2 eyes and a heart upside down for a nose. I might put a few cracks in the skulls as well. This is why I thought it's definitely going to turn voodoo, because there's only so many motifs you can put on there before it starts to look like that. There we go. She hasn't got any gloves on. I'm going to give her some striped gloves. And I want these pearls to be eyeballs. So I'm going to give them pupils and eyelashes. Red rouge. Because she's on stage. I mean, she needs the rouge. I always think of that Muppets Take Manhattan when her and Joan Rivers are fighting with each other, putting the rouge on. The scribble reminds me of how you had us scribble the moon in one of the virtual voyages. Oh goodness, the one where we scribbled the entire outside of the piece and everyone got carpal tunnel. That was a fun time. I wonder if I need my white gel pen for any of the black areas. We could put some spiders on. Not super obvious, but we'll know they're in there. And then I'll grab my grey Tombow just for some shading. Now this grey is going to pull out all of that gel ink from the Pilot G2, so I have to be a bit more careful with how I push it around. Put a little shadow where she's standing, so she's not floating in air. A little bit on those skulls. There we go. I think she's good. I think we tackled our fear and actually came out with something really great. Rouge on the skulls. That is great. Definitely. They're all showgirls. Imagine now little headpieces on the skulls. That would be so funny. I feel like I should give each little skull a headpiece. Or lashes. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to grab my pen and do... just some more lash on Benjamina. There we go. There is our Benjamina. She is hilarious. I need to go scan all of these. Who have we done? We did Dorothy. Oh, here's my sheet. We started with Dorothy. She got very farm girl. Then we did Sateen. We did Ariel. And now Benjamina. And I'm going to do one more just for good luck up here. I'll zoom you in a little bit. I feel like I want to do Barbie again. But just focus on her face this time. I'm going to do vintage Barbie. She has these really rounded leaf-shaped eyes. There's something about it too. There's a very heavy liner on the top and the bottom. It's obviously a little bit thicker on the top. Oh, Janice. Her hair is technically already scribbles, all those little noodles. Okay. And the Barbie that I have in this picture has a side eye going on, which I love. Little pupil dot for Tim Burton. Maybe I'll just do these lower lap. Maybe I'll do Sally Bowles from Cabaret. I think I've done her before, like multiple times as Tim Burton, because I always do her eyes really dark. It always kind of looks like that anyway. It's my red. Strong red lip. This stamp already has that kind of vintage Barbie face shape. I just need to softly round the bottom out rather than make it too angular. And then I'm going to use the hair that's already on here. But for my little Sally Bowles, I'm going to bring in, she's going to have like a little French bob. A lot shorter. So I don't know if I told you, but I went to an audition earlier this week and we did cabaret. And I had so much fun. And it was really fun just thinking back to all my like little cabaret references, because I've only seen the West End like revival, and that one was so incredible. It was so expensive too. Like, it was one of those things that Steve and I were like, maybe we should just not do this because it's really, really expensive. Well, she needs 20s eyebrows. We're going for Sally Bowes. But I'm really glad we went. I was sick as a dog the day we went too. And you're not allowed to take any photos or videos in there. So it's like very mysterioso. So I also didn't know what we were getting into. I was like, this is a lot of money to put on something that you might not enjoy. Thank goodness I did enjoy it. So I was referencing that a lot in my head when I was performing, and that was really fun. You know, you just live that fantasy as if you're actually doing it. And then one of my friends, Patty, who used to sing on cruise ships, we used to work together on a cruise ship. She sang cabaret once. I wasn't even there. I saw it on a Facebook video that she had posted, I think. And it was just the best thing to watch. And so I had that in my head. And then obviously Liza was in my head. It was just such a fun... It was a fun audition just for being able to dance that and perform that. My approach to auditions has really changed as I've gotten older. And I really try to appreciate the value of a free dance class at the very least. You obviously always hope it kind of works out, just because, you know, you put the effort in and you kind of imagine what it would be like if it did work out. But some things are just so out of your control. Like, you don't know what they're looking for, or they might change their mind about what they're looking for. All those things. So at the very least, you have to be able to just enjoy the audition. So I always think of it as a free dance class. I'm using a black pencil, and you'll see the difference between the graphite and the black. I'm going to use the black to put all those lines on, like Tim Burton. And the lashes. So if you're ever doing a graphite drawing and you go too crazy, and you don't want to erase it all, just grab a black pencil, because you can bring the contrast right back, because the grey as it gets never really becomes black unless you're using a black pencil. So it's a bit more of a neat version of a Tim Burton drawing. There we go. Lenches. Love the lenches. She's got her ears. Gonna put those back on. I would usually bring the bob down to at least the top of the ears, but I'm going to try it this way and see if I like it. Make it a little bit softer as well. But I want to put a little curly Q up here. And on this side. Oh, skull earrings. That's a good idea. Some studs. I love her French bob. Gonna give her her rouge. I always thought Steve would be a really good MC for cabaret. I think he said that that would be like one of his dream roles too. I don't know if he's ever done it. I'm going to make this a little bit narrower. Why is a bob the only hair I can draw? I love a bob. It's like, it's easier to draw a bob because sometimes it stays out of the way of whatever you're drawing clothes-wise. I used to draw long hair all the time and I've just always felt like it got in the way. I still do it sometimes, but like even this ponytail, I was like, oh, see how it just kind of blends in? You don't really see it. I mean, there's a time and a place. I do love a bob though. I'll always be a big advocate for the bob. Especially a little French one. A choker or a bow tie? Oh, a bow tie. I need to put my skull earrings on first. Like a big pearl. She's giving me a little bit Debbie Jelinski. She has a bow tie. She would need a collar. But I think I just want the collar. I don't think I want the shirt. Okay. Corporate realness. Bow tie, bow tie, bow tie. Tim Burton bow tie usually has that bat head. Like I'm thinking Jack Skellington, the bat head, and then those wings. But I feel like I want to do the one, I want to do a thinner version of that double bow tie with the long ribbons that we did on Eliza Don't Little. And get any of your last questions in, because this will be the last thing I'll do before I finish up and try and see if I can upload this to YouTube. Oh, I can hear the ducks. I gotta go for a walk too. Bianca, can you hear her snoring? Bianca. Shut up. Thanks, Victory. I believe he would slay it as well. I'll tell him you said that. Bianca, goodness me. What's going on over there? Put just a little top under here so you can see she's not completely nude. A little frill. And then I think I'll just intensify that shadow just a little bit with some scribbles closer to that eye. Kitty snores are your favorite thing in the universe? I'm not a big fan of snoring, unfortunately. I have a really terrible aversion to it. Lots of people in my family snored growing up. My brother, my twin brother is such a bad snorer. My auntie. My mom, not so much. My sister, not really. Me only when I've drunk too much. It doesn't matter if I'm snoring because I can't hear it. She's quite simple, but I feel like that's a nice change of pace from what we've been doing. This is my Sally Bowles Barbie. Sally Bowles Burton Barbie. Burbie. I really liked that mashup. Alrighty, there we go. Send Bianca your way. I still love her when she snores. Bianca! She woke up. This has been a little live stream. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for all your fab suggestions. I'll go through my last little roundup. We did our gorgeous Miss Piggy meets Muppets Treasure Island, Benjaminina. We did, these are all Tim Burton versions of these, or our Tim Burton concept art. And then this is Dorothy, Loving Her, High Fashion Farm Couture. Then we did Sateen from the Moulin Rouge, complete with rouge. Ariel, riding a swordfish, which now that I look at it, kind of looks like, what's that guy? The Penguin? The Penguin? Who's seen that Benedict Cumberbatch where he just keeps saying penguin? The more he says it, the weirder it gets. Penguin. Anyway, he looks like the Penguin from Batman Returns. And then we did Sally Bowles as Barbie. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 whole pieces on a live stream. I haven't been this artistic since yesterday. Thank you so much for being here with me. Sorry again to have to move that live stream. Fingers crossed that the internet gets itself sorted and that it gets itself sorted tonight so I can upload this to YouTube and say hello to everybody over there. But I have really appreciated your company and your suggestions. It's a pleasure as always. I will see you again soon. Bye, everyone.